let's talk about vows, Oskar. There's lots and lots of things we can do about vows, but can you tell me what the rules are around vows in a humanist wedding, please?
So one and only solid rule that there is about vows is that you need to have your legal vows.
Yeah.
With Fuze Ceremonies and just in general with National Heritage of Scotland, there is 4 formations of how you approach that. We've got templates of that. We will present them to you. You can practice them at home. You can decide which one works best. Some couples choose to do personal vows.
Yes.
Some couples choose to do exchange of rings. And there's so many ways that you can do this. You can combine this all together. I'm doing this in a couple of weeks now, and they're literally going bride, legal, personal, exchange of rings, groom, legal, personal, exchange of rings. But I've had couples where we've done it legal first, personal second, exchange of rings third, whatever order you want to do that in, as long as legal vows are there. And the format of that varies between couples as well. I have, when it comes to particularly the personal vows, I've had couples, we had this conversation earlier with Anna, who are confident public speakers and those that really don't want to be the centre of attention, although it is their wedding, of course. So I've had couples that when I asked them the question, what are your thoughts on personal vows? I had one couple who actually said to me, we're not very big on public shows of affection, so we're going to write love letters to one another.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to ask our witnesses to exchange them for us in the morning.
I love that.
And there's a video I've seen from the wedding where they sit on the edge of the bed in private, away from the rest of the crowd, and just having a moment to themselves. And I thought that was such a sweet thing to
That's
do.
really, really
Have you had
good,
any examples of how you approach vows and personal things?
Yeah, so a lot of my couples choose to write their personal vows, and they're secret from one another.
Right.
And so on the day, I always offer to print them out for them, because that's one less thing that they need to worry about. So I always have them and I can hand them to them.
Right.
But what I do as a service is I ask them to share them with me, obviously, so I can check them. But I do a sense check for feel and for length. Now, normally they're equal. They're really, really good. And actually, sometimes they almost write the same things, which I think is adorable, because it means that you're really in sync with one another.
Right.
I have had it though where the poor groom wrote this much and the bride wrote this much, and in sentiment they were exactly the same, but the bride just was overcome with all of the emotions she felt about her husband's be, and so it's only fair that I say yours are a little bit longer, and then let them make the choice as to what they want to do. We also have that traditional repeat after me.
Yes.
So legal vows are repeat after me, just so that you don't have to memorize them, right? Because that can be really stressful.
Absolutely.
So reading them off a card, but also repeat after me. But also the traditional, do you promise to do X, Y, Z? And they say, I do. Because there's a lot of romance and a lot of tradition associated with those two little words, that I really like it when couples do an I do wedding, because it's just really nice.
That actually takes me very much down a Mendy lane. I've had a conversation with a couple over their personal vows, and we've gone back and forth with the ideas, but they did say to me that they weren't very comfortable with public speaking. So I said, do you know what, actually, why don't you come up with your personal promises in bullet points, and I'll paraphrase them into questions, so you can do your I do, I can, I will, which is a lot less pressure on the both of you. I'll take the pressure, you could just do the answers to that. We've gone a step further. They actually incorporate a bit of fun promises as well.
Oh, nice.
Of like, do you know what, Jim, I'll allow you to go for your golfing trip once every 6 months sort of thing. So do you promise to blah, 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 blah. That happened. So it was quite fun as well. But another thing that's kind of reminded me when you were talking about couples doing different lengths. I had a very similar situation where the groom was very romantic to the point, whereas the bride was more on the light-hearted side of things and a little bit more expanding on things a little bit more as well. And then I looked at this because I didn't give them too much direction, because I wanted them to have that kind of freedom of giving their personalities and character in their vows as well, because it's such a momentous moment in the ceremony. I did actually go back to them and said, do you know what? Without sharing too much, one of the vows is a little bit longer and one is a little bit shorter. Would you want to revise that? And they actually came back to me saying, no, because this is exactly summing up who we are as individual people coming into this marriage. And at the end of the ceremony, father of the bride came up to me and said, I was expecting her to go longer, which was quite funny. So it kind of adds to the atmosphere of the occasion and memories that people create from it as well.
Exactly. The bride in my case, who had the really long ones, was like, I'm really sorry, they're really much longer than yours, because I made the groom go first for that exact reason, so he wasn't nervous thinking, goodness, hers are so long. The other thing that I offer to couples who sort of want to do their own personal vows but don't want the attention on it,
right,
is the 3 reasons device. And so if you've ever been to a humanist wedding where they have 3 reasons, and I'm sure you've delivered them as well if you offer it, you ask your couple for 3 things that up to 3 things, because it doesn't have to be 3 things, right? Up to 3 things that you love about your intended, and 3 things that maybe gently annoy you about them, irk you.
Things you want to change.
Yeah, there was little things like the socks on the bathroom floor type things. And what it does is it allows them to express their love for their person, but through a third person. So it's not them saying it, it's me.
Yeah.
And also brings that little bit of levity. Most ceremonies I deliver, and I'm sure you're the same, have a lot of levity in them.
Yes.
And so it's a really nice little way. The other thing that's great about that is it's a surprise. So I did it for my wedding to my husband, and I knew everything about our wedding. We'd signed off the script, I knew what we were serving for dinner, blah, blah, blah. The one thing I didn't know was what my husband was going to say about me. So I was so looking forward to that part of the ceremony, and actually it was lovely. It was, it had the oh moments and then the ha 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 moments, and it's just perfect. So. And
it is such a special moment, because I say to couples, like you said, they know the script from A to Z completely.
Yeah.
But there's this moment of personal intimacy in the ceremony with doing the kind of surprise moments in the ceremony. Yeah. And that's a brilliant example of it as well. Because otherwise, they would have known everything. But this is a moment where you get the real reactions, the smiles, the laughter, and it's absolutely great. Love incorporating that as well.